Everything is energy, and all is connected.
What we think. In parts 1 through 5, we went over the fundamental principles of energy that fuel existence as far as we currently know it. We talked about how atoms combine into molecules, molecules combine into forms, and forms combine into organisms, and organisms combine into a concept of what we consider to be a deity or God. We have considered the atom at various levels, as a particle, as a person, as a planet, and as a multitude of planes of existence. And we have considered forms in terms of shapes, words, colors, symbols, and icons and what they represent. Again, I would like to reiterate that all is energy, and everything we know is expressions of energy. And now we're going to elaborate on that. Through the threefold concept, or triangulation of energetic operations, we know that these core expressions of energy are a production of life, substance, and intelligence. These three components working together manifest a degree of consciousness, which Alice described as life working intelligently through the medium of a form. And as all are forms, we can consider the term atom to be applicable to all different degrees of life. First, there is the particle atom of the chemist and physicist. Second, there is the human atom of mankind. Third, there is the planetary atom of the solar system. Fourth, there is the solar atom of the galaxy. Fifth, there is the galactic atom of the universe. And sixth, there is the universal atom of the unknown. Some say there is nothing bigger than the universe, as it supposedly includes all of space and time as we know it. Others suggest we exist within a multiverse, and even others believe that there is no beyond, because the universe itself is infinite. As you can see, it creates a visual of a bullseye, or a representation of a pulse or wave oscillation. So, if every life is but a smaller or larger aggregate of a different degree of life, then what can be said about man? What gives us humanity? Our intelligence, our emotions, and our will. What we think conjures our feelings which motivate our actions. The significance of the will is that we can freely choose to change it. We can utilize all the energies of all lower forms of life, and we can harness energy from all higher forms of life. We are like the sweet spot of our reality, just as the Earth is in a planetary sweet spot of habitability from the Sun. This is a simple scientific explanation to the Christian phrase, image of God, because we have that same power of manifestation that the Most High Energy has, and has given to us. Life is a gift. We can decide, I don't want to feel this way, and actively do something else that makes us feel better. We can decide, I don't want to think about this anymore, and actively refocus our attention onto something else. We can change our minds, and as a result, our entire lives. These little ripples have a huge impact on our past, and are profound turning points within a soul's evolution. Those brave enough to bear the brunt of this burden are often referred to as the black sheep, or the generational curse breakers, because they put an end to an energy that had probably persisted throughout their family lineages for many, many years, just by consciously choosing to behave and live differently. Just as particle atoms complete several cycles of operation, attracting, merging, and blending with other atoms to build forms, and just as forms complete several cycles of operation, attracting, merging, and blending with other forms to build kingdoms, our kingdoms have completed several cycles of operation, attracting, merging, and blending with other kingdoms to build our world. So it is presumable that our world is also in quite a similar process of attracting, merging, and blending with other worlds, which would assumably build upon our degree of consciousness to present yet another larger and higher entity of some sort. As such, each lifetime can be thought of as a singular cycle of a soul's embryonic stages that will continually attract, blend, and merge with other souls as it develops and evolves within the crystallization process that we talked about in previous parts. Going forward, I want you to think of this threefold order of operations, attracting, merging, and blending, as the steps of atoms finding their place. First, it's initiated with its own internal purpose. Then it attracts other atoms to merge with, forming a group. And then the group blends with other groups to establish an even greater collective body. As humans, we experience much of the same to an extended degree. We are born into life with a will to live. We attract our needs and wants, merge them into our lives, and then blend with other like-minded individuals into groups. These groups then combine into other larger groups that attract, merge, and blend with others to form yet another expanded level of group consciousness. We see this demonstrated through art. How many forms of art are there? How many genres of literature, film, music? We can also see this demonstrated through geography. What city or town do you live in? What county or region is that? What state or territory? What country is it in? Remember the three evolutionary stages of energy: atom, molecule, form. These three stages can also be described as individual identity, group coherence, and eventual synthesis. These same stages of evolution can also be extended to a higher degree and applied to mankind. The atomic stage reflects the process of self-actualization. The molecular stage reflects the process of group coherence, and the formulation stage reflects the process of developing an intelligent appreciation for this wonderful experience we call life and the part we play in it. Again, this divine trinity or energetic triangulation is expressed in a simple and pure way in the Bible. This triple idea can be found summed up in the prophetic phrase, "I am that I am," or "I am who I am," depending on translation of the scripture. Alice described splitting this simple sentence into three parts to reveal its hidden treasure. The first part, on its own, "I am," relates to the atomic stage of consciousness and self-awareness, a space where a sense of individuality is developed. Then the second part, emerging and blending reformation, "I am that," relates to the molecular stage of group coherence, which considers a level of consciousness externally, and in this space we develop a sense of relationship to others. Finally, in the third part, we have the complete sentence, which is another merging and blending reformation and relates to the formulation stage. "I am that I am" integrates all aspects in the development of intelligent appreciation for the experience of life. To what degree, then, will humanity naturally evolve and extend to? Alice proposed that we are now exiting the atomic stage as a whole and entering the molecular stage and extending our sphere of influence by further merging and blending with technology, which could mean that we as humans are collectively increasing our degree of radioactivity, or in simpler terms, we are raising our frequency or increasing our overall vibration. In chemistry, we attribute an increase in vibration to higher temperatures and faster speeds. Keeping that in mind, I want you to reconsider your thoughts on our place in the cosmos. Does this information change anything about your perspective? This is Coincidental Chaos. I am a light, and thus I stand.